when we have experiences, our body is conscious, and there's all different layers to it. There's each of the organs has their own consciousness. The autonomic nervous system has its own consciousness. There's all these meridians and chakras, and there's all these layers. So experience, the kidneys pump out adrenaline, or like there's a whole physical engagement in the experience. And the body can get identified with the chemicals and the biological experience. So when we're meeting something and finding where it is in the body, there's different layers that can be releasing. It can be emotions that are releasing, it can be thought patterns, and it can be the biochemical memory of the fear. So I could see it being a whole meditation for you to lie down and be present with the fear and just lovingly be with each layer as it's coming up to be witnessed and seen and loved. And the natural phenomena when something is fully lived, it's then done. But this feels like a really beautiful thing for you to do, because the fear and the anger and all these things aren't your enemies. Like, you don't have to fight yourself trying to change something. There's nothing to fight. It's only actually to surrender. And it can be really uncomfortable on the way. It can be really uncomfortable, because the most uncomfortable things are what we hide from. But those uncomfortable places are the doorway. And if we trust that everything is divine, then there's nothing to fear. And then when doubt arises, doubt is just another crayon color. So I feel like we're kind of moving through some layers here, right? And there's like more uncomfortable things sort of surfacing.
I'm mostly thinking about needing to remember this when I get back to Querétaro.
Well, let's
send you a link to the Satsang.
Yeah, it's being recorded, so you can hear it again. Well, thank you for...
To do this, yes. To open to it, feel it.
Well, thank you for what you've offered here, because there's a deep willingness and vulnerability that you have opened to, and that you have offered. So I want to thank you for that. That's a gift for everybody. And it's a gift for you. And it's that openness and that vulnerability that I would invite you to fall into. Fall through that vulnerability. Let go into that vulnerability. And that's where you're whole.
That's where what?
Where you're whole. Mm-hmm. That vulnerability is like when I was talking about the place of the separate self is just innately insecure. It's innately vulnerable. Because it's trying to be the universe, because it knows that's what it is, but it's experiencing itself as separate. And so that vulnerability, that raw, complete vulnerability, is just another doorway to fall through. Without defense. It's not that the ego falls through. You don't take yourself and fall through. You leave yourself behind and you fall through.